Ford one? Yep, it's Ford one. Came from a Ford dealer. A bunch of stickers. Prince George, Virginia. That'll work. So now that we went over there and we put the block on and torque cam gear on, or the gear on, now we got this to clean up. This is our 500 miles. Pretty much 500 miles since we've taken it, since we put it together. We're gonna go ahead and replace the undercover harness. I cleaned it off once. I don't want to clean it a second time. We're replacing it just because you can get all of it cleaned off, but we're replacing it. We're gonna go for another one. Put that in. We got the pump. We're planning on leaving the fuel rails, and I guess we're gonna go ahead and put a full set of injectors in it, just because this one has nozzles, and you know, I mean, we're gonna start airing towards just replacing the injectors rather than nozzles. We're gonna do that because these trucks are getting older and older. They are. There's more things to fail in a 6.4 injector that we're finding as the years go on than just spray pattern melting a piston. You know, they actually can fail internally and actually be like a 6 liter where, you know, an injector's bad. They'll do that. So right now, let's clean this all off and get it ready to go on. And I am going to install the gasket onto the pump, have it all set and ready with sealant on the rear cover in the back. I think it's all covered up now. Yeah, we'll put sealant along there on the rear cover, and then I'll set the pump in. Then we'll kind of ooze that down, get the sealant on the T-joint pressed out, and then we'll put sealant on the pump cover and lower the pump cover on and off to the races. So we've got all the injectors out, pump is in, and we're getting ready to go swap the injectors out, get a set of them. But I want to go ahead and put this on because I've already got it off and clean. Let's open up this Banks Engineered differential cover. A little sight glass, let's take a look at it. It does have an O-ring seal. Fairly unenthused about that. It's like some cheesy freaking hardware that's probably gonna not be as strong as the old hardware, but it'll be all right. Oh, they say thread lock it. Okay, so blue thread lock it. Got the O-ring for it. Now that's my problem. Where are you gonna get this O-ring at? So we are going to go ahead and put ultra black and put the O-ring on. Where it's probably not designed to, but I really have never seen one of these aftermarket covers not leaking. They all leak, like they're, and maybe it's because people trust just the O-ring and tighten it up. That's not enough for, you're supposed to just put a fat bead around it, tighten it up, let it sit for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, let the sealant almost cure, and then go around and tighten it a little more. Do not put this thing on with wet sealant and tighten it all the way down off the bat. Don't do that. It will squeeze sealant out, and then basically you're almost just metal on metal, and you have a real thin skim of sealant holding everything. If you tighten it down so that sealant starts to ooze out everywhere, it'll, you know what I mean? Just run it down till it touches, it starts to ooze out, and then wait 10, 15 minutes, and then go down and tighten it a little bit more. It'll ooze out a little more, and you'll see that it's curing, and you're actually filling it in. That's the best way to do it. So that's what we're gonna do. Got a couple of gouges in it, but right there, that won't affect anything because I'm gonna seal it. It wouldn't affect anything originally anyways because they want to rely on the O-ring. So not us. We're gonna go ahead and put sealant on here and get the O-ring in it. I guess it's just a plain old O-ring. I thought maybe it would be formed, but it's not necessarily like molded for this. It's just a O-ring that would be pretty easy because then they could find what O-ring, and that would decide how big, because you could measure this and machine this out so that you can find an O-ring to fit. Because ideally I would want to be able to go to O'Reilly's, go to the parts store, and buy this for some specific application. That would be ideal. Now maybe it is like that. We'll give all this to James. Install guide. It's not really a notch. Looks more like a mess up in the machining. But when I first looked at it, I thought maybe they had an O-ring that had a notch to fit in there, and they actually spent the time to get the O-ring, but it's not. It's just a plain old round O-ring, and that's probably where they started, or who knows. Okay, so what are the odds that this is not going to be the right length? Now I'm trying to just let it relax and push it in there and not do any stretching or nothing. Honestly, trying to make it shorter, because you can get a little bit of space out of an O-ring by installing this. You can squeeze it in and make it shorter or stretch it a little, but that, guys, that's not enough. That is not enough of an O-ring seal. You can almost go flat with it. It just barely sticks up. So any kind of imperfection, a scratch going across where somebody has pried on it to get the old diff cover off, that is not going to seal. So we're going to put it in, but we're not going to rely only on that. We're going to ultra black it. It almost works. Almost. Well, I can take it out and stretch it out.
Okay, so I'll hold Anthony's camera while he puts this gasket in.
I mean, the thing is, we have to like squeeze it together to try to get as much room in there. There you go. You can make it fit by squeezing it in, and let's see. Okay, there you go. I've already brake cleaned it off.
Put some sealant around it.
And smear it by hand.
And then they sent blue Loctite, so we'll get that done too.
Well, we're gonna run around here and tighten up. And we'll just start here. I've already ran through it. We'll look up close in a minute. I should have gotten it though. I've already ran around it. Now I'm just double checking. But look at this, look at the sealant. Just a little bit oozing out around it. So this is what they look like after a 500-mile drive, and pulling them out, back out. And I washed them off. I was just sitting here thinking about how much I want to rehab them, but this paint has already been through a couple of heat cycles and it's already baked on. So I'm just going to clean it by hand. I sprayed hot water on it, blew it dry, and I might take a little bit of probably brake clean on a towel and wipe it, but then just throw a quick coat over it. That's what we have a problem with. Anti-seize getting hot and melting out and running down, and it leaves a mark on the exhaust. So I mean, this is actually pretty cool. I get to rehab it. I'm just going to throw a little bit of paint on it just to touch up, and hopefully it'll be dry in time for me to actually grab it and put it back on, because I'll probably just put an entire coat over the whole thing. But at least this paint will be baked on, so it'll be like another coat. I don't know what to do with valve covers too, because they don't look good. I gotta clean them. Don't even look close at them. They got oil and marks, and I mean, they're polished, but we also just, they're nasty. They're dirty. I ran it with took the valve covers off, and so it's a bummer having to go back through it, but I want to at least spend as much time as we can. Turbos are just hanging out a little bit. So back to this. I got off on a squirrel moment. Throw a quick coat of paint on both of these, get them in, and then we'll get the valve cover clean and get it ready. The injectors, I'll have them here in a minute. We did put the pump in. The pump's bolted down, the cover's on. I have not put the heat shields on, so I'll get the heat shields next. But just running through, showing some of the stuff, even though it's all good and clean. I wanted to put it back together like it doesn't have grimy handprints all over it. I mean, we're gonna do its best. Yeah, like the crossover tube, we gotta put that back together too, because I took it apart, remember, to run the truck with the valve covers off, so that made us have to take it apart. We got the heat shields and parts. We got the other one. Here's one. Shows you it's just a little dirty. That's got 500 miles on it. Yep, the heat shield got some crap on it. Yeah, so, and these little guys, see, there's just dirt, there's just grime and crap all over them. So let's clean them all up and do the best we can to get it back together. It deserves it, right? Just get these injectors in, fill the rear diff. We got the diff cover on there. I needed to repaint all this, touch all these exhaust up. I needed to clean everything up. Because I mean, I'd at least like to put them back on looking brand new like they originally were, right? I mean, freaking drag that we're taking it back apart. That's what I'm saying. And everything it's just not fresh and clean no more. So I'm trying to take things apart and keep them clean, new, like a first time install, not like you put it all together all clean and then took it back apart and then put it together again. You can tell. So let's hope you can't tell when we get done. That's the goal. Kind of a mess everywhere.
Sure is. Getting all these
minute.
out.
Put a little towel in it. We're letting the River City nozzles. I'm gonna call it bad luck. I hate that because, you know, I don't want to be that guy that annoying somebody. I don't have a warm fuzzy feeling about these. I mean, honestly, I just want them gone. So, I mean, these nozzles are expensive, right?
Yeah, they are.
That I just,
It's time for them to go away.
that's so stupid. I hate that. So, the time that it would take and the resources to, man, that's $3,000. The time and the resources needed to take them off, to go through all the crap, and then to deal with the company. And I mean, we'll lose money for the money that it would cost to get it to be covered, or to get our money back. So I'm opting not to. I'm not even going to make them. I'm not going to make River City hassle with it. I'm not going to make anybody hassle with it, because I wouldn't want to be hassled with it. You know what? We paid the money for the injectors, for the nozzles. We thought we wanted to do it, and if we don't want to do it, it costs us money.
Yep.
So I'm putting River City nozzles back in the core box and letting them have them back, letting Ford take them. So spray it, blow it out. This is all we really need to do that I want to do with them. It's air coming out of inside the injector, so obviously oil is going into the fuel return. Now that's just going to push it back out, but it's at least going to try. So yeah, that's why we soak them. Okay, this plug right here is for headlights. This one right here. Pin 4. We'll go into pin 4, which would be from this side. Yeah, you can't see nothing. Just we got pin 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one right there. Oh yeah, you can almost see it. That one right there. Now go up, walk around to the front. Oh wait, almost.
It is.
Off.
Off.
On, off, on, off, on, off, on, off.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not wiring. Could be a connection. It could be a connection right here. When we plug this back in, it could make connection and be working. So let's try that first. A lot of times these problems can be solved by just unplugging it, plugging it back in, exposing a bunch of wire loops and stuff, because it's not the wiring. So, I mean, if anything, it's going to be the central junction box. And that's where we'll, the smart junction box, that's what they call it. So if it is that, you might have to put across it and eliminate right and left. Here, go turn it on and let's see if they come on.
Okay, so I turned the headlights on. No, I don't see it doing anything. Not even trying.
So our budget is blown. That's what I'm getting at. That's why I'm stepping on my words here. Budget's been blown. It's gone. It's Yeah. I mean, too much happened. So the headlight, smart junction box down there. Now, I don't know if you actually need to program them. It might be like a transmission controller and a 6.7 maybe. Because you don't have to really program those when you swap them truck for truck. I haven't done a lot of swapping of the junction box, but we got the wire exposed here. See the one that's out that's got electrical tape on it that I was actually considering ghetto rigging? We actually started ghetto rigging. It's got electrical tape on it. You see it? It's shoot, I don't even remember what color it is after all this.
Green and blue or brown and something.
Brown one is the left-hand headlight. And the blue with the yellow stripe, or what is it? Or
it's green, it's blue with a green stripe.
Green stripe, yeah, that bright neon color.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that one is the passenger side. So I'm gonna ghetto rig, take that tape off because I don't want it to get all gummy. Basically where I'm at is a smart junction box. That's what it needs. And yeah, that whole box right there, I went through, I probably changed that box 95 times in Meadows truck. Probably.
Probably.
So I was gonna put the little bullshit thing on there, but then I decided, you know what? This bullshit thing right here. But I thought, you know, this needs fixed. This needs a smart junction box. Go ahead if we gotta program it potentially, and you know, our budget is blown. And James actually said the words. He said you could run it. He said just run a jumper. So how I am planning it is I'm going to blatantly strip this about this long, and I'm going to wrap it around the pin that goes directly to the headlight.
The headlight.
And I mean, we could turn the headlight on right now. You just with the power probe, it works. So I'm going to run this, and then I'm going to strip it about that much, and wrap it around the battery terminal, completely ghetto. That way, the ghettoest that you can make it, the faster you can remove all that and go completely back to stock. So I'm gonna pull that pin out, take the tape off, and I'm gonna wrap this around that pin. I haven't decided yet what I'm gonna cover that ghetto rig contraption under there, because once again, it's gonna be a bare pin out of the harness. So I don't want it to be gummy when you put it back in the harness after we take off the I've taken longer to explain it than it would have taken to do it.
Yep.
Because we just put injectors in this, we put a pump in this, and we ran it with the valve covers off, looking for fuel, and I mean, yeah, you know, them injectors, there was actually absolutely no even drivability issues when the injectors were not torqued to 28 foot-pounds. They was probably 18, maybe 20. They was torqued to 18 or 20 foot-pounds. But I took the injectors out and set them on the table right there. And
they're not there now.
Right when I took them out, and there was absolutely no burnt, no discoloration, no burnt washers, no issues. You wouldn't have even known. So, was that enough? I think. Because I think we bought them injectors. And yeah, this actually is turning into a financial big deal.
Well, can we fix the headlight?
Well, yeah, we're gonna fix it real quick in like a second, like so fast that we're gonna do it as the truck is running and we're backing it out the door. We're gonna run up real quick. Oh crap, headlight! Done. Might as well catch a cold start here. It's all the way cold. Not that it matters. It's all good. Halfway up the stick. Let's go for a drive. All right, we've got a pulley. You hear it? It's changing. We heard that when we first fired it up last time too on a cold start. We're gonna have to. Which one is it? Watch, it'll go away. It did it last time. It did it for about 5 minutes, and then it stopped. So whichever one it is, I mean, we could gamble and guess and replace everything. That'd be... You'll see. You'll hear it go away. You hear it? It's a pulley. Just ramped up. Main clutch kicked on and it went away. Huh. Right there, now it's all the way gone silent. Yeah, we do have a pulley. Well, you ready? Does your wife hook up your trailer for you? Whole load of crap? Mine does. This actually looks pretty good. Pull the car out so we can get these bumpers. Cleaning up a little bit. Cleaning up. Got some stuff out from there. Remember there were, I don't know if you remember, there were dashes stacked up. So we got rid of a couple of the dashes. Brad actually needed one, so. And we got some good bumpers there. We're gonna throw them on and take them to the holding facility. Take them up to the parts department. That's what we're gonna do. Taking all of our parts to the parts department. Look at these 19.5s. Oh, I need to hurry up. It's not smashing too bad. Yep. I mean, there's some little gems in here. Got a set of Super Duty rims here. Another whole set there too. Those are good. Those are actually good. Both of them on truck right now. Good to go. Testers. Those are good testers. They actually are smooth. They're good. I think they're Coopers, I think. Got our super single and four-wheeler. And I don't know about the pipe. We was talking about the pipe and we had a bunch of that and it was either this or burn it. So I just put it on top and just strapped it down. I mean, there's farm out there. You might want to drag this thing across the field and make a drainage, something out of it. Who knows? So let's load this stuff up. That one's high. Yeah. Love it. My eyes aren't that good. I can't even see the trailer back there. So, I mean, we've only drug a couple of times where the hub was the only thing left on the wheel, where you had to take the lug nuts off and you didn't need to jack it up.
Only a couple times.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this drive up north, it's a pretty good drive. We're doing very comfortably 85 to 70. I'm at 80 right now. It's a pretty good workout for it. Just I mean, we've got 700 miles on the engine right now as we're sitting. 8 miles shy, 192 owned right now. So it's a pretty good drive. And we got a fat headwind. And we're hauling this, well, you saw the picture. James wasn't too fond of, I don't want to do any videoing where I'm not paying attention, but I wanted to talk about driving it, you know, because the sun's shining in my eyes. I forgot sunglasses. Everything else has got tinted windshields in it. But we're headed up, drop off a load of stuff out of our barn. See, a couple bumpers, little four-wheeler, Tanner's four-wheeler. Tanner's gonna have some room up here at the farm. He's gonna have a couple shelves that, well, Don don't know that yet, but yeah, we're almost there. Charismatic SMOKE. Smoking deer jerky. It's the break room. All right. I kept forgetting what it looked like. I've only been here 12 times so far.